Welcome, everyone. I see a couple people have already joined us.
Yes, they are already coming in because 8 o'clock is when the show starts. So
yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us. The husband,
the wife,
the issues. We got it this week. So yes, thank you all for tuning in. It is 8 o'clock. We are a 30-minute program. And we have some house rules, some Periscope rules. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'll let the wife go over the rules.
Yeah, so the rules are the same as they are every week. We don't want any cursing, any derogatory. Yeah, I know you can see the keypad. I'm sorry. Those are people who are watching it on mine. Yeah, I got
problems.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Salam.
I sound like
Walaikum salam. Peace. Hotep.
Yes. That means peace.
Everybody.
We're greeting everyone in peace today.
Greeting everyone in peace.
So yeah, we want to keep it peaceful on the blog. Of course, you're free to make comments. Please do make your comments. This is a very important topic. We're going to talk about media bias, talking about white mental illness. Everyone else is terrorism. Yes. So you can come on and ask your questions, but just keep it clean. We want to have a dialogue about what's going on in our
real good, truthful, honest dialogue. And just because you disagree doesn't mean you're wrong.
Right.
Well, so believe that. Also, check us out. Check our website, thehusbandthewife.com. Sign up, join our newsletter list, and we will send out a black business of the week that we try to support or a new one that we discover.
Right. And also, please don't forget to give us those hearts and to share with your followers and friends. Don't be afraid. Just tap the screen, hit those hearts, get them going.
Yeah, show some love. All right, into the topic, because we're not going to hold up our audience. No, we thank you for your time. So, on the media, as we know, watching TV. I know when I'm watching TV, I love to watch news. I love watching MSNBC. I'm not endorsing these news, but we watch the news. Upon watching the news or reading a newspaper, I love the New York Times. I'm a big fan of the New York Times and the Final Call paper. And shout out to all the independent newspapers. But reading and watching the news, I notice when it comes to certain crimes, they tend to be reported differently.
Yes.
So tonight we want to get into what is being reported. Is it the truth? Happy Savior's Day from Detroit, Michigan.
Thank you. Happy Savior's Day.
So, Akila, have you noticed the same thing while watching the news, reading the news?
Yes, I've noticed that with certain people, when they commit certain crimes, they might be labeled as a lone wolf or, self-radicalized or, people who are acting independently of other groups. It's just someone who went crazy. And I've seen with other individuals or people who are Muslims or people who are black or really anyone who's not white, they'll say that this person is part of a terrorist group. They'll say that this person had a terrible childhood and they knew this was going to happen and things like that. They don't give them the benefit of the doubt that this is just an individual who was going through something.
I know you mentioned the word terrorism. Now that's a huge word in the news and article. Now, what is the definition of the word terrorism? Because are we even using the word properly? What is terrorism?
Right. So terrorism, I looked it up to get the official definition. As you all know, I like to look up words up. Terrorism means the use of violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims. So it's a very specific definition. It's not just using violence. There's a specific political aims have to be involved with the act of crime that you're committing.
Now, okay, so it's funny. So this last shooting that involved the alleged couple who shot themselves in San Bernardino. Now, immediately, the word terrorism is linked to them.
Right.
However, they don't know their motives. I don't think.
And it happened in what's the name? Farook's workplace.
Yeah. So they don't know their motives yet. I want to talk about the comments. I know my wife is getting interested in the comments. For the hell, nobody sending comments while my wife is talking. She can't multitask. So when they're sending, they don't even know their motives yet. But when the killer and they shot the Planned Parenthood, he had a political motive to install fear, but yet no word of terrorism is linked to him.
Right. So with him, they say that he's a lone wolf. Someone even I wrote it down when I saw it because I couldn't believe it. They said that he was a gentle loner. what type of murderer is a gentle loner?
A gentle. Now look at
Gentle?
these words. Gentle
Gentle.
loner. Now,
I mean, they could have said like, I don't know what they could have said, but gentle is not a word that you
maybe,
use.
You know, devil, menace to society. I mean, that's
And this wasn't the first time that he attacked a Planned Parenthood.
Was it?
A few years before that, he put glue in the lock so that the people couldn't escape or people couldn't leave the Planned Parenthood. But that one didn't get any media coverage.
Well, that didn't get any media coverage.
Yeah, so Robert Lewis, this isn't the first time that he's done something like this, yet he still gets to be classified as a gentle loner. And this was in a major U.S. newspaper.
Now,
he has consistent behavior. Exactly.
Since we're shedding light to this, does this do anything to skew our perception of what it is that we're being seen? Like, what kind of impact does this have on us? Like, because I mean, what's the point of talking about this if we can't see the impact and the significance of the media bias in the news?
So, for instance, when you continually hear things like alleged or claims and even alleged murders and things like that, you think, okay, well, this hasn't been proven yet. We have to give this person the benefit of the doubt. But if we look at the case of Farook and Malik, and when I was reading an article, it's called Islamic State Says California Killers of 14 they killed. First of all, it says they killed. It doesn't say they allegedly killed anyone. It says they killed the 14 people. And then it says they're investigating it as an act of terrorism. However, this happened at Farook's workplace. It didn't happen at like a high level government building or anything like that. It happened at his job. So why aren't they labeling this as workplace violence? They immediately want to go into the fact that, they were radicalized. And what is
radicalization?
Yes, radicalization anyway. Like, what is that?
Somebody made a good point. Somebody said, we are guilty. Brother Hannibal said, we are guilty until proven innocent. But however, our white counterparts are innocent until proven guilty. Because you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because reading several news articles and sources, they tend to use the word, when it's come to a white offense, alleged.
Yes, every time.
Shooter. Now, these people have been caught with the guns in their hand, but it's an alleged shooter. Versus Farook, they were already killers.
And the police killed them. Like, they were in the standoff with Robert Lewis, the man who shot up the Planned Parenthood. For 5 hours, they had a standoff with him, and they arrested him. But with Farook and Malik, I mean, of course, I wasn't there, so I didn't see how it went down. But they were killed. They weren't brought in. They were killed. They were murdered, and they are automatically labeled as killers, while as Robin Lewis was labeled as alleged, even though he shot a police officer, and they saw him shooting the people and then brought him in, and it's still alleged. I don't understand why it can be alleged for one and killer for the other one. It doesn't really make sense at all. And we have to look at that with the language that's being used. How does that make us feel when we hear that kind of thing?
Now, I got a quote by Malcolm X who said, in 1964, he said, "This is the press, an irresponsible press. It will make the criminal look like he's the victim and make the victim look like he's the criminal. If you aren't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppression." Wow. So now that was said in 1964, approximately 74, 84, 94, 2004, almost 50 years ago. Does that quote still hold any relevancy to today?
mean, I would say it definitely does. Really, the media is very powerful because they can make you see things the way that they want you to see them, according to whatever agenda they have, according to whatever biases. Even when you see a news article, like back to Farook and Malik's case, the one that happened in San Bernardino, the FBI director, James Coney, said the investigation pointed to radicalization of the killers and potential inspiration by foreign terrorist organizations, but no evidence has been uncovered yet yet suggesting the killers were part of an organization, larger group, or formed part of a cell. So you can see right here, the FBI director is saying that the killers, they were radicalized, but it hasn't been, we don't have any evidence yet. Do you hear that yet? Meaning you're going to find it, it's just not here right now.
Knowledge dart. That is a knowledge dart. If you tune in with us, you know what a knowledge dart is. But this is your first time tuning in. A knowledge dart is a moment of enlightenment of a fact that you may not have known. I got a knowledge dart.
Agreed.
In New York City news, so for all those who live out in New York City, watch the news you tune into. The story, the portraying of the criminals do not actually represent the facts. What I mean by that, 3 out of 4, according to New York, a study done on New York News, 3 out of 4 criminals are black. But however, the arrest rate in New York for black people are only 51%. But if you would leave it up to the news, most of the crimes committed in the city would appear that they are done by blacks or Hispanics, when in reality only 51%. Knowledge dart.
Yeah, so we have to think about how does that make us look and how does that make us feel when we see these things. I know when I was a little girl and I would see on the news all the time about different shootings and different things that were happening on, and I would always see a face that looked like mine, that made me feel like, luckily I had parents that really strived to teach me the knowledge of self and the greatness of our people. But I was just thinking, if I didn't and that was all I saw, how would I feel about myself? How would I feel about my brother or sister when I see them in the street? And then I saw a comment, somebody said, of course ISIS would take credit for this shooting because it brought fear to people. But I mean, they already talked about the fact that Farook and Malik had no contact with this ISIS organization and that they self-radicalized themselves. How do you even do that? They had no contact with the organization.
Now, people talk about ISIS. Is ISIS really the threat, the terrorist threat that we should face? Is ISIS really the threat?
I mean, if you're watching the news, ISIS isn't the threat on us that we're really worried about.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm worried about driving down the street and not coming back home.
Yeah, I'm worried about
I'm not worried about ISIS.
Yeah, not worried about ISIS at all. Being pulled over by the police would be a bigger threat of ISIS to me than the actual organization of ISIS. For God's sake, when the last time you saw ISIS with an airplane? Now, when the last time they even don't even have military uniforms that are even organized? So, I mean, then there are many speculations about ISIS even being a group started by the United States, the CIA, but who we know do not have a decent rapport or rapport with our people.
They said, did you see about the person who was gunned down today in Miami? That's pretty close to us.
Oh wow! Speaking of people, there's so many news stories. We have a Black Excellence moment actually. The wife, if you all didn't know, was sending out the article in our newsletter, has published a official story on slantnews.com I let her talk a little bit about it, but there's another case of police brutality shooting 30 bullets into 30 rounds into a car with a 4-month-old in the back seat that was not hit.
Yes, so in Virginia Beach, there were 4 officers that were looking for a suspect, they say. They were looking for What happened was, like I just said, in Virginia Beach, this couple were in the area and they were, I guess, on vacation. And they had their 4-month-old in the back seat, and the police were actually looking for the boyfriend. And they stalked the vehicle for 30 minutes. And when they approached the vehicle, it's alleged, or the police claimed that Carrie, the boyfriend, shot at the police, and that he did hit one of the officers' shirt, but none of the police were hurt. And then the officers took it upon themselves. They saw that there was another person in the car who they weren't looking for. That was India Kager. And they proceeded to just shoot up the car. 30 rounds were in the car. The mom said that when she went, the mom of India Kager said that when she went to identify the body, she just stopped counting because there were so many bullets in her daughter.
Wow.
And there was clearly a 4-month-old, a baby, an infant in the backseat of the car. And the police say they didn't see the fact that there was a child back there. However, if they were stalking the vehicle for 30 minutes like they said they were, I'm sure it's a baby. Babies cry. The mom or the dad, who was the boyfriend, Angelo Perry, would have looked back and at the child. And it's just really, really heartbreaking to hear the story. The young lady was of that turn. She was only 27 years old, and she has no criminal history. There was no reason for her to lose her life that day. We have seen plenty of cases where police have apprehended the suspect they were looking for and took them into custody, but they just had no regard for their lives. And like my husband said, I published the article because I haven't seen this on mainstream media anywhere. I've seen a couple articles posted, but we really have to share her story. We have to let everybody know what's happening. We have to share everyone's story. And there is footage, but the police are not releasing it, the dash cam footage. And it happened at a 7-Eleven, so there was security footage too. But that hasn't been released yet. But her mom, Gina Best, really needs our help sharing the story and letting everybody know what happened.
So we're asking you to visit the website, thehusbandandwife.com, and to just share the story. You don't even have to read it. You can skim through it, but take a moment to at least tweet it and share it. So go to slantnews.com, or you follow my wife on Twitter. She has retweeted and tweeted the link to the Slant News, because just take a moment and just retweet it. Even if you don't read it all the way, just take a moment to retweet it, because you never know where that tweet may go. We can all do our part, because now it's getting to the point where we're going to have to be the news that helps spread.
We have to tell our own stories. We can't expect the media to do anything for us. We have to do everything for ourselves. We have to, and as we can see, even with this boycott, we're starting to create a sense of community.
Yes.
Which is the best thing, I think, which is going to come from this boycott. Even today, my husband took me to a store owned by some Haitian.
Yeah, Haitian brothers and sisters.
So it was really great being able to go into a store and see that the person who owned it looked like me.
Yes.
That's a rare occurrence.
It's starting to become second nature now with this boycott, to want to find black businesses to support now. Because it's a whole different feeling. Like, I honestly feel like I can be myself. When I walk into a black store, I feel like I can be me. Good. And and people may say, well, what about the customer service? Well, I think we have a tendency to be a little harder on our own, because we don't. If you look at some of the treatment some of us may gotten inside, like Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King, but we don't say, oh my God, this white business is horrible. No, we take it. Half the time, most of the time, we take it. I know I've been guilty of it, but not anymore. It's time to speak up, stand up, and do for self. Get out there and spread the news.
Right, yes, sir. And then I just saw a comment. The brother said he doesn't even watch the news. He just looks at everything on the Nation and online. And that's a good point. If we stop watching even the news and things, they're going to lose their ratings. All the commercials and stuff they get. We saw what happened with BET when we boycotted them for the BET Awards, and how they had to apologize and explain why they didn't show Justice or Else 10-10-15. So we can do the same things with everything else. If we stop supporting all of these things that don't care about us and don't support us, we are making a difference, and we can continue to make a bigger impact by just continuing to stay together and band together. And I know one thing that has come from this article with India Kager is shout out to Attorney Mom, because she was the first person. Shout out to
Attorney Mom.
Yeah, she was the first person. I had not heard about what happened. That happened in September of this year. It just happened. It's just now December, but nobody knows about it, because it's like certain stories are picked and chosen of who's going to get, who's going to get known and who's not.
Yes,
this woman, she was a U.S. Navy vet, and she should not have died like that. She left her 2 children now who don't have their mom and won't have their mom. And everyone needs to know about India Kager. We need to say her name as well. So we need to make sure everybody knows this story.
That's when I mentioned, truth be told, we wouldn't need TVs. That's a good point. If we had more righteous and honest programs, then TV would have a purpose. But we are being fed filth. The news are full of lies and have discrepancies of the truth. distorting of the truth. So it's like, for instance, Tamir Rice. I don't know if you all remember. Many of y'all should. When the incident happened, Cleveland.com, the newspaper in that city, the first thing they reported was the fact that Tamir Rice's father had a criminal record and his mother was arrested for drug trafficking a year ago.
Yeah, so what does that have to do with this little boy, 12 years old?
Exactly. So it makes you, it's like,
that was shot down by the police.
So obvious. Even when during Katrina, let a black family secure food and the things they need to survive, and they are looting. But if it was a white family, it's they are getting the things they need, survival tactics.
Or they're blown in their act. It's not a white thing if you see a white person do something wrong. It's not a Christian thing if you see a white. It's not. They wouldn't even put Dylan Roof with the Ku Klux Klan, even though he had been in meetings with them. They said that he was, a lone wolf in the things that he did. And with Dylan Roof, he killed a state senator. Like, come on, political base. Come on, that's terrorism. 9 people you shot up a church. That's not terrorism.
Don't forget Virginia Tech shooter.
Yes,
30.
No. And then with Dylan Roof, I still can't get over it because the judge is gonna say, oh, well, his family is suffering too. Do we hear them talking about Farook and Malik's family saying that their family are suffering too, their victims as well? No. Why? Because they're Muslim?
Yeah, exactly.
And I just remember Brother Hannibal had mentioned too that people are scared of Islam because it's the fastest growing religion. And it's just, we can't allow someone else to frame the way that we think. We have to do better at doing research at what we see and noticing the emotive language that reporters and journalists and politicians use in order to get what they want. They try to say things to scare you or to make you think that something is more than it is. But if we just use logic...
Fear tactics.
Yeah, exactly. If we just use logic,
Muslims
we can
are
see
coming.
through all of that.
Black people are coming. Watch out. Be scared.
Yeah, we got to build a wall to keep them out.
Yeah. Speaking of build a wall, did you all catch the 2 black women that are supporting Donald Trump? Did you see the video?
Do they know that they look crazy?
Goodness.
That the people are laughing at them? They're not. They think that Trump's people are with us and we're together. No, you are being laughed at, sweetheart. Did you hear what he said? Oh, do your little routine. It's so cute. Yeah, look at them. They're so great. They're with us. They're laughing at you. You don't even know when you're being laughed at. Have we come to the point where we love our slave masters' children so much that we have no dignity at all? Oh yeah, do your little routine.
Well, I better not catch you supporting Donald Trump and his rallies.
Please.
So next week, this is our
Black and Muslims are the scariest things to white supremacy.
Yes, of course. Yes. I mean, yeah, of course. So this is our...
Because we're free thinkers, that's why.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to our Saturday program, which is, we get a little more serious Saturday. But Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're lighting up the mood. So, I mean, we don't have any topics right now.
That always happens.
It always happens.
As soon as we get off the show, we have like a million topics.
Yeah, so if you have any topics for us for Tuesday, which is our fun, typically relationship day, please sign up, contact us, tweet it to us, DM us, put it in the comment section
the link
right now so we can take a look and go in on that topic. I'm thinking about, we did have a question about virginity. Should you abstain from having sex before marriage? Abstinence. I mean, is that even possible in today's world? I mean, is that asking too much for young people?
That's a good question because a lot of people think that waiting until marriage is asking too much.
Yeah, maybe we should do love versus intimacy. Is there a difference? Right. Or sex versus intimacy. That's what I meant. Sex versus intimacy. We'll see Tuesday, 8 p.m. Announcements. Any announcements?
Yes, so please, y'all, please share the article. Oh, she said deal breakers. That's a good one. Talk about in relationships. What's a deal breaker?
Deal breakers. That's a good one. Yeah.
Shout out to Asiatic Queen.
Yes. Shout out to Asiatic Queen for the deal breakers. We may have to touch on that too.
Yes, but please go. My name is Axiom Mary Posa on Twitter. It's AXIOM. MARIPOSA. I know it's long. I'm gonna put the link. Just scroll up and you see it. You can go to my Twitter. But go to Slant News and please, please, please share this information because no mother should have to bury their child. It's oh my gosh. And if you listen to the interview that she did with Tim Black, I know when I was listening to it, I was in tears. I couldn't take it because it was just like what she was feeling, I could feel too. And her daughter is my age. I'm 26. She was 27 years old. I can't imagine like thinking that if I had walked out the door, maybe I could have been sitting in the car with my husband, and that could have been us, and that would have been the end of our life. Right. So please, please, please go to slantnews.com, find the article, go to my Twitter. It's an easier way to go to my Twitter and find it and share the link. We have to let everyone know what happened to this young lady, and we have to stay with this boycott. Because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but it's working.
It is working.
People are feeling it.
Yes, people are feeling it.
People are like begging all of these commercials. I'm getting emails. Please come to our store. I'm still
getting emails about Cyber Monday, and I'm like, it is definitely Saturday.
What? It's like a week later.
Yes, boycott, stand strong, support a black or brown business, find one, support. Let us know if you have a black business or a Latino community. That is
Cyber Week.
That is,
they changed it to a week instead of a day.
Cyber Week now.
Yes.
So see how that's their way to show that our spending power is affecting them. So let us keep it up. Let us not spend because it's gonna be up with Jesus
and down with Santa. And it feels so good, y'all, to support a black business, to go into a store and see somebody that looks like you, that's doing a good thing, that has a good product that you can support. We're out there. Don't give me that bad service. Forget that. Don't go to that person again. Let the person know. There are so many black businesses that will give you good services and a good product. Support your own. You can feel good about that.
So we're going from November 27th to January 2nd. It's the boycott. The husband, the wife.com
is the site.
Yes, sign to the newsletter. We're giving out a new black business this week. If you have one, please contact us and let us know.
And we're selling products.
And we're selling products. Support your own. Also, Tuesday, deal breakers maybe. Who knows? Deal breakers. Sex versus intimacy.
I like that.
We'll see what's good.
Thank you for the hearts.
Thank you for the hearts.
Thank you for the shares. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you for the love.
We love you guys.
Thank you for the love. So until next Tuesday, the husband,
the wife,
the issues. Fly high
or get flown over.
Peace.